Tonight on NewsLink Indiana, an update regarding the MCS financial situation.
And an after-school program gives Muncie kids new tools to learn. I'm Mallory Wheel. Ahead on NewsLink, I'll tell you just how it works.
And I'm tracking our next chance for a possible warm-up. I have details coming up by full weather tonight.
From Ball State Unified Media, this is NewsLink Indiana.
Good evening and welcome to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Reagan Geiger.
And I'm Alex Kelmer. Thanks for joining us. Our top story tonight, Muncie Community Schools will be paying off its 2017 debt in December.
The school board voted on the funding plan this afternoon to rearrange the debt in order to pay the 2017 owned balance. But as NewsLink Indiana's Tony Sandlaben explains, this funding plan is not a long-term solution.
$3.7 million. That is what Muncie Community Schools owes at the end of 2017. But thanks to a plan approved by the school board today, that money will be paid.
This isn't a long-term solution, but this at least is a midterm solution.
MCS Chief Financial Officer Bob Coddington said the school district is rearranging the debt in order to pay what they owe in December. But the plan will still leave an $11 million deficit for the foreseeable future, with a debt spike expected in 2023. Coddington says the line item budget the school board approved earlier this year will keep that debt spike in check and will slowly cut away at the deficit. With a government takeover still a possibility, State Representative Sue Arrington says she is optimistic about Muncie remaining independent, but she did say there was one thing the district could do in the time left before the government's decision.
Well, definitely the teacher contract. I think that's something that is sort of pending out there.
The framework for that teacher contract was approved over the summer, but the final deal has not yet been signed. Today's meeting was scheduled as a public hearing, and after Coddington's presentation, the public was invited to the podium to make remarks, but no one did. Meanwhile, when asked about Coddington's presentation and plan, MCS Superintendent Stephen Ball could only say that Bob Coddington is a genius. So guys, quite a lot to take in there.
That's right. That is a lot of information there. So what does this say about the district's financial situation right now?
Well, Coddington was pretty frank when he was asked about how the district ended up in this situation. He said he felt like leadership in 2014 and 2015 simply didn't grasp the full financial situation, which could explain why the numbers got to where they are.
And is there pressure mounting on that district now that it's October?
Well, anybody in Muncie Community Schools will tell you that there's been pressure from the beginning of this situation, especially board members and the emergency management team. But like you said, it's October, which means they have roughly a month and a half left to make enough progress on that financial deficit, on that financial debt, to prove to the government that they don't need to be fully taken over.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Tony. The Muncie Library is putting a new spin on education.
That's right, their program allows students to challenge themselves to learn more than what's inside the classroom. NewsLink Indiana's Mallory Wheel is live in Muncie with more. Mallory?
Yeah, guys, well, it's called Digital Climbers, and it's an after-school program where kids can continue their learning. All they have to do is walk from Longfellow Elementary School behind me across the street here to Connection Corner.
You feel smarter, right? And they say, well, yeah. And I say, well, I can see it. I just saw it happen. That's awesome.
And that's the whole point of digital climbing. Kids ages 8 and up can come here after a day of learning to use their brain in a different way. Digital mentor Stuart Cotton provides the kids with projects they can work on to challenge how they think.
So a lot of these challenges are STEAM-based. That's science, technology, engineering, art, and math. So every challenge here is educational on some degree.
But he doesn't want this program to remind kids exactly of what they do at school.
And after 8 hours of doing that, you just kind of want to be free for a second and explore the world the way you want to. So we offer this opportunity for kids to do that.
Each challenge the kids complete earns them points. By working on something for just 10 minutes, they can earn 1 point.
Once they've completed that challenge, I write down on a slip what they've completed, and at the end of the day, I put all these in the computer so the next day or the next week or the next month, whatever they come back next, we can know exactly how many points they've spent, and they have left to spend.
He knows the program is working because in just over 1 year, More than 200 kids have earned 8,000 points. That's roughly 100 hours of voluntary work from kids. Stewart says he uses his role to teach these kids skills they'll be able to use later in life.
So I got a rule around here where I say, use your words, not your hands. So I'll walk around and I won't pick up the thing and show you how it's done, but I try to walk you through the logic of why it is that this thing's being put together this way.
The program runs 4 days a week, so Monday through Wednesday the kids can come in, do those challenges, and then on Thursday they kind of get a fun day where they can come in, hang out with their friends, play video games, eat candy. And if you're a parent who wants to get your kid involved, all you have to do is send them over here. They can walk through these doors, they can sign up and get started. Live in Muncie, Mallory Wheel, NewsLink, Indiana.
Thank you, Mallory. A court ruling on Indiana's mandated sex offender classes will affect all convicted, incarcerated sex offenders. A federal judge issued a ruling siding with plaintiffs who challenged the program in a class action lawsuit. The plaintiffs say they shouldn't have to attend classes that force them to admit guilt if they pleaded not guilty. The Attorney General's office say the decision could put the public at risk by putting convicted sex offenders back on the street. Indiana's sex offender program began in 1999.
Indiana's busiest airport has again been named the #1 airport in the United States. It's the 4th year in a row for the rating by magazine Condé Nast. A few of the reasons why: easy TSA, checkpoints, future upgrades, and food options. The airport predicts that it will set a record for passenger traffic in 2017. The Indy Airport calls the Condé Nast Reader's Choice Awards the longest running and most prestigious distinction in the travel industry. And as the Indy Airport continues to impress us, the weather continues to surprise us also.
That's right. It kind of seems to be unpredictable day by day. Ballant, what can you tell us?
Well, Alex and Reagan, that's definitely true. Look back at Sunday, we were, rainy, windy, it was lower 50s. It was honestly miserable. Now take a look at this. Within the past 24 hours, Muncie, 10 degrees warmer than this time as of yesterday, and 4 degrees warmer up in Fort Wayne, and 6 degrees warmer in Kokomo. And this is only going to be a trend that's going to carry on through the next several days. And for radar, clear conditions throughout much of Indiana, a few clouds down further south towards the Kentucky border, and then even on the national scale. Take a look at this, a clear slate, hardly any precipitation showing up at all. A few isolated showers down in Jacksonville, and even some snow peeking on up in Vancouver and British Columbia. However, here we're clear, and some current temperatures throughout the region. Right now, we're sitting at 55 degrees here in Muncie and Anderson, 50 degrees up in Marion, and Kokomo sitting at 53 degrees. Now, coming up in my full forecast, I'm going to be discussing how many clear days we have ahead, a possible warm end to the weekend, and when our next chance for rain returns. All that and more coming up in my full forecast.
Coming up, a popular Muncie hangout is getting a makeover.
And find out how an alumna was able to connect with students this homecoming week after the break.
Oh! Checking your fantasy league?
Nah, just my 401k statement.
Nice. Where'd you find the money for that?
I've just been saving a little every month.
I can't seem to save anything.
Well, what about all this? What about the money you're spending?
What money? It's gone before I can get my hands on it.
I got a pizza for a Todd.
Hey, can somebody spot me?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
It's 547.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
So I've come up with a family emergency plan.
Great. What is it?
It's difficult to talk about, so I'm not telling you.
How will we know what to do?
You won't.
I'm so glad I won't have to remember anything.
And me too. Thanks for this, sweetie.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. Muncie's AMC movie theater is receiving some significant changes.
The popular spot located near the Muncie Mall is set to become an IMAX theater as a part of an ongoing renovation process.
That is right. The updated theater will also feature recliner seats, new paint and carpeting, as well as an updated concession stand, including items such as hot dogs and flatbread pizzas. Liquor will also be available for purchase at a separate counter.
Ball State alumna Heather Ryan joined students last night at the Ball State Campus Student Center to share a unique concept about leadership. An NCIS special agent for 15 years, Ryan decided to pursue a passion and to share her stories about leadership. And as an agent, she had to develop strong leadership skills. Her keys to success as a leader are being an active listener, showing empathy, and having control over unexpected situations. Along with these three main points, she also stressed as a leader, you can never assume everyone is the same as you. She went on to tell students about how she's excited to be back at Ball State and how different everything is.
Fall weather is finally here, and students are layering up for the change. NewsLink's Crystal Pennell has the story.
Fall means change, and we're finally seeing this change in our weather. We've had some up and down weather during our supposed fall months. Finally, in the middle of October, we're getting the crisp winds and cooler temperatures we've all been asking for. Along with the weather changes comes a closet change in order to accommodate the cooler days.
I definitely wear my knee-high boots a lot more, and scarves are more socially acceptable to wear.
These, going more thermal stuff because I'm an athlete, so I like some of that stuff, so I brought it over. Jeans, no more shorts.
But not only does the weather change, but the activities that come with the fall change as well. With Halloween coming up, everyone's favorite activity is coming around.
And then we always carve pumpkins.
Usually we're going to carve pumpkins. I know me and my roommates are going to carve some pumpkins.
Corn mazes I'm a huge fan of.
Everyone goes to like pumpkin patches, and so a lot of like my sisters in my sorority and I go to pumpkin patches.
Not only that, but
for Thanksgiving, me and my family, obviously the Black Friday shopping goes on. That's an event. Okay.
Thanksgiving time, spend time with the family, traveling, dinner, really good food.
Stay warm, folks, and happy early Halloween. Ball State University, Crystal Pennell, NewsLink, Indiana.
And a warmer midweek coming up. I'm tracking the details, and I'll let you know about that coming up in my full weather right after this.
Can you help me with this? My new dad teaches me all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
He helps me with homework.
That would be 3.6795.
Thanks.
Yep.
He helps me with my decision making.
I wouldn't use this one. Ever.
And he's even teaching me how to drive.
And that's why cars have bumpers.
I'm learning so much.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
They're coming. Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Don't wait. Communicate. Make your emergency plan today.
Of all the things you've done with your bike,
Donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. We've been seeing our fall weather in full effect as of late.
Of course we have, and I definitely need to figure out whether or not I can wear shorts or start wearing my scarves and sweaters and all that type of stuff.
Right, in about a week into October, we didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
Ballant, what can we expect in the next week?
Well, surprisingly, that's still the same case. You know, it's been an ongoing active weather pattern. It's been jumping back and forth. It's crazy to say that it's October and we're still seeing temperatures in the 80s. However, for the next several upcoming days, still going to see some warming conditions, surprisingly, as much as I hate to say, as you know, I'm a big fan of that fall weather. And within the past 24 hours alone, we've seen it jump in 10 degrees in the temperature in Muncie alone, 6 degrees warmer in Kokomo, and 7 degrees warmer in Lafayette. And all these reds and oranges are indicative of that warming trend. That's only going to continue to do so for the next several upcoming days into the future. Now for radar, clear conditions throughout much of the state of Indiana. Few patchy clouds down farther south towards Louisville and northern Kentucky. Then for the entire continental United States, clear conditions for much of the Midwest all the way out to Omaha and farther west, and really not much precipitation at all. That's really rare to see. So several clear days coming up, and then winds have died down throughout the day. From the south at 8 miles per hour in Indianapolis and 6 miles per hour from the south. These were up to 15 and possibly 20 miles per hour in the gusts earlier today. So it's nice to see those winds finally starting to cool on or drop down. 55 degrees out the door right now here in Muncie with calm winds at south from 5 miles per hour. And elsewhere across the state of Indiana right now, the state's capital also sitting at 55 degrees. 50 degrees in Bloomington, and then 51 degrees in Terre Haute. As the evening hours progress, the clear clouds are going to allow it to get much cooler for the overnight hours. 44 degrees the overnight low with those clear skies and calm winds. And then that's going to carry over into the morning hours out the door at 7 a.m. We're going to be sitting at 45 degrees, so make sure to bundle up those kiddos, get them a light jacket, a coat, maybe even a light hat if they run cold, as it's definitely going to still be chilly. However, by the time they get back from school at 3 p.m., 67 degrees, and then the highs are going to ramp all the way up to the 70s in the southern portion of the state. Farther up north, it's going to be teasing the 70s, 69 degrees in Lafayette, Kokomo, and Fort Wayne. The farther down south you go, the warmer it will be. And then tomorrow night is going to be a little bit warmer, but similar to this evening, 50 degrees. Winds pick up a little bit, ranging between 5 and 10 miles per hour. Now, Saturday is the Ball State homecoming football game. Kickoff is at 3 p.m. as they take on Central Michigan University. It's going to be a fantastic day for some football action and some tailgating. 74 degrees, the daily high, and partly cloudy conditions. However, note those winds, 10 to 15 miles per hour. So possibly the winds might play some spoiler in those field goals. So we'll have to wait and see about that. Then for the 7-day forecast, check out this warming trend through the week. 72 by Thursday, 74 degrees with partly cloudy conditions on Friday, homecoming on 73. So note that for that Ball State football game at 3 o'clock. And then Sunday, we see our next chance for rain return with a 40% chance of rain on Sunday. More probable on Monday, though, with that 60% chance of rain. The temperatures are going to significantly start to drop off. Over 10-degree change between Monday and Tuesday with a 30% chance of showers as that next cold front passes through.
As I remember as a kid, I always had to worry about, is it going to snow while I'm trying to trick or treat? Now it seems like kids might have to worry about if their costumes are too hot for them.
Exactly, and believe it or not, our first freeze is actually well overdue. Most places in Indiana usually experience their first frost within the first week, so it's about overdue. So hopefully those temperatures are going to fall back into the line of where they should be within the next several weeks.
Absolutely. Colton, what can we expect to see in sports?
Well, coming up in sports, we see how the men's golf team finished their final round of their tournament. And the Yorktown girls volleyball team gears up for regional play in the state tournament. All of this when we come back.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know, wherever you are.
Cook foods to the right temperature using a food thermometer. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
You wanted to be a teacher when you were little, but things changed. Teaching didn't seem that cool anymore, so you decided to become something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Amazing things are happening in teaching, so it's time to put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Colin Howard with sports. Yorktown's Tigers volleyball team is continuing a dominant season next week against an equally strong Zionsville team. NewsLink's Andrew Sanders went out to Yorktown to discuss the team's postseason hopes.
It's printed across the back of their practice shirts. But Step Up is more than a slogan. It's a constant reminder of what Coach Stephanie Bloom is expecting from her Yorktown Tigers.
I saw something in our kids that I felt like they needed to hear from me, that I believe that we can be a state contender in 4A. And we've had a really great year, not out of luck and not, we didn't get ranked in the top 5 because anybody felt sorry for us. It's because of how we've been playing. And so why can't we be one of the teams that's left in the state championship?
Seoul senior Bella Rosenthal is a big part of their attack. She leads the team and the state in assists, despite missing time to injury this season. Rosenthal is counted on to be a leader.
It's hard to be on the bench and not out there like with my teammates playing my senior year, but now that I'm back, it still hurts a little, but I gotta play, so.
Yorktown took home the state title last season in 3A play, and while 4A volleyball may seem like a pretty big step up, the Tigers realize it's now or never.
I think it's building confidence into our players that we can make a run in 4A, even though it's different than what we're used to. This is it, and high school doesn't last forever, and I think she really wants to make the most of it.
In Yorktown, for NewsLink Indiana, I'm Andrew Sanders.
All right, thanks, Andrew. The first round is set for this Saturday at 12 p.m. at Muncie Central High School. Over in Carmel, Ball State's men's golf team wrapped up the final round of the Crooked Stick Invitational. Boasting a competitive 12-team field, Ball State was looking to climb out of 9th place in the final 18 holes. However, the Cardinals couldn't make their last day a good one, shooting 14 over par as a team. There were some highlights from one player on the team. Despite a triple bogey on his first hole of the final round, Michael Macris finished 2 over and tied for 14th. Head coach Mike Fleck would like all of his players to play at the level Macris did over these past few days. He says in order for the team to compete in the final 2 tournaments before the offseason, he'll need more consistent plays from more of his players.
We can't get it done with just one guy playing well. We have to have, 3-4 guys playing well together in order for us to be good. And, we've just been struggling with that concept of putting, a handful of rounds together at the same time.
As we get deeper, into the month of October, we start to wrap up a lot of these fall sports. Golf is in their final 2 tournaments of the season, and girls volleyball, high school girls volleyball, is already in regional play. Can you guys believe that?
Honestly, that is crazy that this has gone by so quickly. Fall sports for me usually go by a little bit slower, and because I go to a lot of events, but this year I wasn't able to make it to a lot, so I'm hoping to attend more, and everyone else should too.
That's right, and here we are already in the midst of homecoming. We have a big game up against Central Michigan. It feels like Cardinal sports has just been flying by.
It has been, but huge game this weekend, and plus it's homecoming. With all the festivities coming up this week, it's a game you don't want to miss.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Colton. After the break, we'll find out how one popular social media site is bringing food to its users.
We've got that and more next in our trending segment.
Hey, did you know 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Let's go to the shelterpetproject.org and meet if you are in a shelter near you. Harlow, oh, she's one great listener who loves to hear all your stories. My kind of cat. Cerulo is a sweet, goofy boy who's eager to please. Sounds just like another dog I know. So go to the shelterpetproject.org, search your local shelters and rescues, and go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough. I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self. And I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. In entertainment today, we may know Halloween is right around the corner. Destiny, what can you tell us about what we have?
Yes, Halloween is right around the corner, and if you haven't been looking for a Halloween costume already and surely want to be a big scare, then you may want to become Pennywise from the recently aired movie It. Now, Pennywise is a clown character who dances, or if you've actually seen the movie, you'd have a different opinion on that. But Pennywise has been ranked as #1 Halloween costumes in 2017. So what do you guys think your Halloween costume may be this year?
Certainly not a clown. Too much for me. I wouldn't be able to look in the mirror all evening.
Yeah, I honestly think like the Halloween being a clown is too scary for children. Like if you guys remember like the clown epidemic last year.
Of course, who could forget?
Exactly. All right, unlike all the obvious ways we can order food using apps nowadays, Facebook has recently launched a way its users can order food using its app. Since 2016, Facebook has been testing the functionality of ordering through their app and has now brought it to all users in the U.S. To order, simply log into your Facebook and visit the Explore page where you will find the order food option. Facebook is helpful by placing the restaurants closest to you in an order that is easily accessible.
There has just been an insane amount of things that Facebook has been adding new features, and I guess adding a food feature is a great thing. I think that'll boost.
I agree, and I think it's just a way for keeping its users coming back to their app. So.
For sure.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Destiny. Now, Ballant, what can you tell us for the last time about this crazy autumn weather?
Well, you know what? I might give that app a little bit of a rest before I order that pumpkin spice latte. Check this out. We're in the midst of a midweek warm-up right now. Thursday, climbing back into the 70s. And Saturday, that homecoming football game against Central Michigan, a fantastic day for that. 73 degrees. Then our next chance for rain returns Sunday with a 40% chance of rain and a high of 69 degrees.
All right, thank you very much, Ballant. That's all for us tonight at NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to watch tomorrow night at 9 right here on Cardinal Vision or online at ballstatedaily.com.
And be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Have a good night.
You've been watching NewsLink Indiana in high definition.